without that light.
All right, YouTube. You wanted the best, but you'll have to settle for this shit.
Yeah.
So here we are, Flat Round and Spun. I'm Trevor. With me, as always, on his channel, Mr. Steve, my live stream brother. And at the bottom of the screen, two good friends of mine, a returning guest, Jeffy Birdie, and a first time here, Greg Maston. Greg is in the band Voyager 3. Jeff, we already discussed with Love Interest and Hellmouth. And I think we got someone else showing up a little bit later, so we will keep that going when that happens.
Yeah, we might have, when people show up, we might have more on our screen. We're going to try to fit all in here like Zod and Superman.
Right. For some reason, I can't get the comments on here.
Well, Jeff and I are out then.
Yep. See ya.
Yeah. This is unprofessional. We can't deal with this.
Okay. Well, here we are. We're here to discuss the Kiss career. Big fans for many decades, and we kind of want to tell our stories of with the band. So I was going to ask you guys, kind of in roundtable style, how did you discover Kiss in the first place? So we'll go with you, Steve.
I believe the first time I saw them was on Don Kirshner's rock concert. I don't know if you guys remember that. It was on ABC on Friday nights at like 10:30 Central Time. Pretty sure that's how I first saw them.
Okay.
Then after seeing that, I said, got to go see that.
Right. Yeah, we've all seen that footage. Jeff.
Yeah.
How did you?
Yeah, we go to oldest together.
Yes.
Great.
I like that I'm the youngest.
That would be Trevor.
I like that I'm the youngest. I like that a lot.
But you know what? It wasn't seeing them. It was hearing and seeing an album cover. It was my next door neighbor that introduced me. And I just, you go to a kid's house to play. Everybody had record players. He played Kiss. I just remember staring. It had to be Rock and Roll Over or Destroyer or both, but that was my introduction. And then I just posted something online about my 7th birthday getting the record that's behind you, Trevor, Kiss Alive 2, and then that was the start of the record collection I have now, which is behind me too.
Right.
It's grown to exponential amounts. So
cool. Greg.
To be honest, I don't really know that I even knew that Kiss played music. I sort of just knew that they looked the way they did, and I thought they were superheroes. So I think they were kind of like, I would equate it to like Pokemon or something nowadays. Like, I didn't know exactly what it was, but I knew it was cool. And I didn't discover till later that they actually did music and
we're human beings.
Yeah, I just thought they were like comic book guys or something. And
do you remember how old you were when that happened? When you first discovered?
I would say that was when I was 5.
Oh.
When I became aware of them. But I remember, and one of the guys might pop on later, but I had moved from. We lived in a different part of the area where my parents live now, and we moved to a totally different area. I don't really remember the first area we lived in as much, but once we moved when I was in 3rd grade, we moved to an area, and I met 2 of my friends, Scott and Colin. They were the only other 2 kids that liked Kiss, and we used to run around the playground and pretend we were Kiss, and we were sort of outcasts. But even then, I'm not even that sure that I was aware of them musically. It was more like Kiss is just a thing that you do, it's like a cool superhero group.
Tied into the outfits.
Yeah. You're born in 72, right? You're born in 72.
I was born in 72, so in 3rd grade.
5 years old is 1977, so that's what? Is that Rock and Roll Over or?
That's Love Gun.
Love Gun. Okay.
The first record I had, though, the first one that I owned is the one that's behind me. This is my personal, like my very first, like personal record. And then, like, if you look on the back of it, you can see where I took like tracing paper and traced over the makeup and like ruined the back cover because I traced their makeup so many times.
Well,
And
cool.
it skips in all the places that I remember. So it's like, you know,
It's home.
yeah, it feels like the, you know, like especially the Elder. My version of the Elder skips so much that I didn't even know those songs went any other way. Like I thought they just skipped. Like, I don't know why my pressing of the Elder is so bad, but like, then when I heard them on digital, I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right. Like, where's the little, you know, skip?
It's the extended remix.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kiss as a prog band, you know, they're like skipping beats, you know, playing in like rather than 4/4, like 7/8 or something.
There you go. That'd be interesting. But yeah, my intro to them, I remember being dropped off at my grandparents' house in, this probably had to have been about 76. My mom was going to a community college just for some classes. I don't ask me what it was, but my uncle, who is 9 years older than me, he was more like a big brother. He was, you know, in school at the time. So I'm in his room flipping through his records and I stumble upon this thing and never seen anything like it before. You know, these four guys all dressed up weird and the smoke and the lights and the guitars and stuff. And, you know, you open it up, you know, you see the picture of the crowd. So of course I put it on and, you know, we've all heard this. It's, you just get blown away if it's the first thing you ever heard from them. So yeah. And of course,
With like the handwritten notes in the gatefold. I thought
yeah,
the guys on the back, they're on the back, right? The crowd.
Right.
yeah, the crowd,
Yeah,
Cobo
yeah.
Arena, and then the notes, and then of course, you know, hey, buy these too. You know?
Yeah.
Because they had all those copies sitting around because they weren't catching on. Right.
Right. So of course, you know, I was in hook, line, and sinker after that. So I want to say the first record I got was a gift from an aunt and uncle, and it was this one. I think I got this sometime in 77. So I was like 6, 7 years old. And even after putting this through the spin cleaner, it still plays as if it was owned by a 7-year-old.
Right.
So,
yeah, that's ideal.
Right.
Hey, hold that up again. Does anybody think that doesn't look like Ace? Like it drives
I've always thought.
Yeah,
that
it drives me
looked like
crazy.
Ace.
It does not look like Ace. It looks like a different guy.
Right.
Like,
well, it's not his stunt double from Phantom of the Park. You
No,
know?
I always thought that also.
yeah, okay. Well, I just want to put that out there because I always struggle with that first album cover. Like I can sort of see, even like Paul looks a little weird, but like Ace especially does not look like him at
To me,
all.
that looks like Paul. But yeah, I've always
Yeah.
thought that.
Well, and before we went live, you were talking about frosted tips. You know? So maybe Tommy Thayer got that idea from this album.
I don't know. That guy just looks too like he almost looks like a model or something, you know? Like
I wouldn't put that beyond.
yeah,
Gene,
exactly.
Like,
Like,
hey,
Ace, you're a little
you're too ugly to be on this. Let's put this guy in there. You know.
So, well, cool. Let's see. What was the other thing? So, okay, Greg, you said your first album was
Alive 2.
Live
That's the
2.
first one I owned.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Steve, what was your first live or
Mine
first
was the debut.
just a bait? Okay,
Yeah.
right on. I do have kind of an outline here.
I know what my second album was too.
What's that?
The Elder.
This will be brought up later on, probably.
Their best album.
We were discussing earlier about you know, seeing them live, Obviously, Steve was the first one to see him live.
Well, Steve got us beat by 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you want to tell the folks of your live experiences with Kiss?
All right. So end up finding out that they're going to be playing at this high school field house called it's Fremd High School in Palatine, Illinois, which is a northwest suburb of Chicago. And I was living in Arlington Heights, which is the next town over. So that made it convenient. But the great thing about it, on the bill with them is Rush. Okay, it's Rush and Kiss in a high school gymnasium.
Wow.
I actually had a friend who went to that high school, and he was on the student concert committee. So we got front row, and actually, I mean, it's of its time. It's in 1974. I mean, this stuff wouldn't happen again much past, well, certainly not past once the 80s came around. It wasn't going to happen. But I got to sit right on the stage, right in front of Gene. You know, if I was too tired of standing, I could sit right there, and nobody said anything, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was just a great experience. I think the ticket was like $4 or $5. I mean, granted, they didn't have, you know, the stage show that they have now, but you know, you had Gene in the blood, and you know, you had the firehouse bit and the smoke and him spitting fire. But yeah, it was a very cool show from what I can remember. Oh, Marcia's here.
Yeah.
So Steve, do you remember? I mean, they brought in their own PA system and everything, I'm assuming.
I would assume they had to. I can't see the school footing the bill for that, especially what they were charging.
Right.
You know, so I mean, and I'm assuming, you know, because it's Kiss and Rush, and they toured together a couple times, I think.
Right.
But I mean, I don't know. Maybe it was Rush's PA system, and they let them use it. I don't know. But
And it would have been Rush with their first drummer, too.
no,
Yeah.
this was fly by night for them because this is 75.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think John Rutsey actually did a full blown tour with them. I think he only did.
I don't know the history of that well.
Yeah, he bailed. Although actually, yeah, because actually, I'm telling you the high school story. Did you want to hear the first time I saw them?
Yes.
Okay, well, the first time then that was November of 74, and that was at the Aragon Ballroom in Chicago, and that holds about 5,000 people. Now that was with and this is the Hotter Than Hell tour. So, or no, yeah, it only had to be the debut, I think. But so it's Kiss, UFO, and T-Rex.
Oh, Jesus.
That is the bill, and I can guarantee you, yeah, the concert was like $6 or $7, you know.
Yeah, it was like $3.50.
Yeah, so it's UFO came on first, and so it's 74, so it's the first album with Michael Schenker. It's the Phenomena album tour, and so they play first. Then Kiss came out, and then there was a long delay before Mark Bolan and T-Rex came out, and it ended up being, the story was that he felt they were blown off the stage. He did not want to come out. But supposedly the promoter waved the contract in front of him and said, you are obligated, buddy. Get out there.
Right.
Otherwise, I'm going to have a riot on my hands. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Hey, look at this guy.
All right.
Steve, another returning guest.
Chair. Well, you can stand. Make us look real short. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that was the two times I saw them in the 70s. So.
Right on.
And even I mean, T-Rex, I'm a fan of, but not a huge fan. But seeing UFO, you know, God, in that era, incredible.
Yeah. In fact, we didn't even know I can remember me and my buddy were driving down, and we heard a commercial, and they listed the lineup, and they said this band UFO. Neither one of us knew who they were at that point. And so we stopped at Rolling Stone Records, which is in Norridge, Illinois, just off the expressway. We go in there, we grab the 8-track for Phenomena and then listen to that on the way down. That was the first time we'd been exposed to UFO, and they were great. I mean, at that point, that's like a 17-year-old Michael Schenker, you know.
Right.
So
That's Steve's Kiss in '74.
In a gymnasium.
In a gym with UFO and T-Rex.
That's incredible.
Well, no, this was
wait,
at the Aragon.
Oh, there we go.
that's at the
They
area.
performed in a gymnasium with Rush.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Hey, Mickey.
Yeah.
So cool.
Hey, Mickey. So, Greg, you'd probably be next up in earliest Kiss, or Jeff. When? Well, no, we'll go with Greg. About your first time seeing Kiss.
My first time seeing Kiss was, well, and he might pop on later, but I finally broke my dad down to take me to go see Kiss, because when we were kids, like the only exposure you had to the outside world was FM radio. And like, so I would listen to WRIF and WLLZ and WABX, and like I would listen to all of them relentlessly. So finally, they announced Kiss was coming to Cobo, and I convinced my dad to take me. That would have been 1983, Creatures of the Night, last tour with Makeup, first tour with Vinnie Vincent, and the Plasmatics opened. And what's really funny about that is like my dad definitely didn't want to take me, and he ended up taking me and Colin. And so the Plasmatics come on, and I kind of looked at my dad, and he's like, "Yeah, don't tell your mother about this." And,
Did you use the chainsaw on the car?
oh my gosh. She was, first of all, like
incredible.
mostly naked, as far as I can remember, and then
Yeah.
like just very over the top. And of course, I was like, "Why does it smell like a skunk in here?" And my dad's like, "Don't pay attention to that either." Like,
Tell your mother nothing.
so
That's a covert mission, man.
but yeah, that was the first tour. I think they had like the tank turret, and it was Eric Carr, and that was the last tour with Makeup. Before they put it back on for the reunion.
Right.
But, yeah, that's my first concert. I'll never forget it. I'm sure my dad would love to forget it.
Jeff?
Mine was actually a bit later, only because I had nobody to take me to shows. My parents didn't give in to those demands ever. And 20 years later, my mom's like, "I don't know why we never took you." Well, a little late now, but so I started going to concerts by myself in probably 85-ish, the big ones. And so I didn't actually see them till the Animalized tour of all the things. So,
Was that the one at Cobo with Queensryche?
Oboe with Rough Cut. Or not Rough Cut. Was that Dio? Shit. I don't know. I can swear, right? Oops. Anyways, it was it was Black and Blue, I believe. and Kiss. Yeah.
Okay. Because I know, like the one Animalized, like the home video that was recorded at
Not Animalized. Asylum. Duh.
Asylum. Okay.
No, it was Asylum.
I was at that Animalized show.
I had him in my brain because I knew he was at Animalized and I wasn't. But anyway, so I wasn't going to these shows until I was old enough to get around or figure out a way to get there by myself. So Asylum was the first one I saw.
Okay. Cool. Well, along with in the comments here, Vance, he said my first time I saw Kiss was the 1990 Hot in the Shade tour. That was my first time too, because
I missed them on that tour. Believe it or not, like of all the times I went, I did not go to Hot in the Shade. I couldn't get over the Sphinx. I just wasn't into it, man. Like,
well, it wasn't so much that. It was okay. It was me and my best friend Chuck. It was on a Sunday night. I know it was also the day before my birthday. But on Sundays, me and Chuck would get together, and I picked him up, and we had the radio on. They had one of the commercials, the Kiss is playing tonight, and we're like, we had just recently gotten back into Kiss because through the 80s we were going for more traditional heavy metal thrash stuff, and we were kind of going back to our at 20 we're like going back even further in our youth. So
beat up during the 80s,
right? So we decided to we went to probably Hudson's to get tickets, and I told the story on another video where we swung by. I can't remember the name of the hotel. It was in Troy, and we met Paul and Gene, in front of their hotel. But went up to the Palace later that night. I want to say it was Slaughter and Winger opening up. God, it was
I think
fucking
that sounds right.
And
I
then,
remember when that concert happened. I didn't go to it, but everybody else in my high school did. And the next day, everybody had the Hot in the Shade t-shirts. Everybody had the same shirt.
right.
That whole era, for sure.
I didn't get that. I don't think I got any merch that day, but yeah. In fact, I remember I had a copy of Kiss Killers on cassette, and Chuck had never heard I Was Made for Loving You, which I was surprised. That blew my mind that he never heard that. So I played it for him, and I'm like, yeah, this is their disco song. And I was just shocked he never heard it. And then, funny enough, they put that in the set that night. So, yeah, that was our first time seeing Kiss. Was all the way, later in 1990.
Wait, at that show in 1990, they played that song? I never thought they would have done that.
Yeah, well, I guess this is the second leg of that tour. I guess they played one other time earlier in the year. But yeah, they, the famous, raps that Paul does. He's just like, yeah, I was talking to someone and he was saying, why don't you play that one song from long ago that you don't play anymore? So guess what? We're going to do it tonight.
Yeah. Man, I would never have guessed that they would have played that song in that era. But
right.
It is a good song. I mean, take the thing of does it sound like most of Kiss's songs out of it and just think of it as a standalone song, and it's a good song, but
right.
As a Kiss fan, a lot of folks were definitely jarred by that for sure.
Yeah, but even by then, by 1990, they kind of beefed it up, live.
Yeah, so, right. It was more rocking, less disco.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, Eric Carr played like doubled the BPMs, like everything.
Yeah.
If you listen to even like the traditional Kiss songs on Animalize, they're like twice as fast.
Right. And heavier, but I mean that show, that specific show, is on YouTube. Well, it's on one of the Kisstory DVD sets. So all it is, it's the cameras from the Palace that someone recorded. It seemed like in 1990 there was a bunch of those concerts from the Palace released. So
yeah, Steve. Jeff my crotch.
So Steve, did you see Kiss beyond the 70s, or that was pretty much it?
No. I did. Wait, Steve. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Oh,
that's Steve too.
Yes, I remember that for sure.
I only saw a few other times after that, and that was the reunion tours. Like, what is that? 96, 98,
96, 97. Yeah.
Yeah, I took my two younger nephews because they were at that point. Let's see if it's 97. They were like 14 and 11. So,
okay.
And that was, I think, Ted Nugent and Skid Row were opening.
Oh, that was the farewell tour.
Okay, which farewell tour?
Yeah, well, the beginning of the farewell tour, that was in 2000. Yeah.
Okay.
But speaking of the reunion show, that's where the three of us kind of. I gotta get a prop for this one.
Oh no! What is a prop?
Well, I had to search. I don't want to find
any jokes.
You know how hard it is to find a 40 nowadays?
Oh my gosh.
That's why I don't remember the reunion show all that much.
So
you and I have a day that day.
Well, so here's my story on it. Is I show up at Jeff and Greg's place in Hamtramck, and Jeff asked me, he's like, "Hey, you got $2 or $3?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Lay it on the counter." I'm like, "Okay." Open the fridge, and in the fridge, you guys had probably about 20, 40 ounces sitting there. All it was short of
was the shelves, and we stacked it. The only thing we were missing was the dry ice for the smoke to flow out of the fridge.
Perfect.
And yeah, we
St. Ides, Mickey's,
because there was nothing good back then.
No, it was all horrible. Yeah. horrible.
I don't remember that, so I must have been living upstairs
Oh,
at
God.
that time.
The better part of that story is walking down the streets of Hamtramck in the middle of the day with 2 boxes each of 40s and just people staring at us like, huh, you know, we kind of want those. And,
Yeah, right.
you know,
Yeah, it's pretty good.
yeah, that looks good.
I mean, just short of taping them to your hand. We didn't come up with that part, but like we definitely like filled the fridge with nasty malt liquor.
That was a long night.
See, Trevor, because you asked me, did I see him after the 70s? Well, as you had stated, Jeff, that you thought they were cartoon characters. Okay.
Mhm.
For guys my age, after like Rock and Roll Over and even maybe Love Gun, that's what they became. They became cartoon characters. You know, that's when the whole Kiss Army started, and they were big with, 10, 12, 14-year-olds, So guys my age at that point, at 1977, I'm 21 years old.
Yeah.
I don't remember any of my friends ever buying anything after Love Gun. Okay.
Right.
I mean, that was it. All guys my age, we were done with them. And
Well, that's what I said. Like in the '80s, unless you wanted to get beat up, you didn't say you were a Kiss fan. You know what I mean? Because it was out of vogue to be a Kiss fan.
I totally get what you're saying. There is you were a kid watching them growing up too, and everything did become more cartoony. It became more about the show, maybe not as much about the albums and everything. And I can see that it would be like nothing wrong with this, and everybody will yell at me, but it would be admitting you're 25 and into comic books still. Type thing, but in that era, it made no sense.
He's lucky.
Back in the 70s and 80s, nobody did that. Now it's just fine.
Yeah.
But I totally get that.
Yeah.
Right.
By the way, Trevor, you look absolutely perfect for Kiss's show tonight with that robe and a 40. I'm just saying, man, perfect.
I'm actually kind of jealous. Where's the shitty 40s?
I don't have.
Is that a full robe, Trevor?
What's that?
Is that a full robe?
Yeah. Here, I will.
Yeah, but what do you have on underneath?
It'd be better if it was a half.
Hey, what kind of party is this?
Wow.
Great shot.
Hey, Trevor, save this for your OnlyFans.
Yeah, I'll make dozens of dollars in that.
That man, you'd make you Hefner proud with that.
Well, I've actually worn this to 2 different Kiss concerts. So
Jeff, just subscribe to your OnlyFans.
Yeah, now you have 3 subscribers.
But yeah, actually, I got this. Well, this is actually you barely see it, but it's
Psycho Circus.
Psycho Circus.
Oh, right on. Yeah, gotcha.
So I bought it before. They played at the Palace of Auburn Hills New Year's Eve, '98, going into '99, and that was the 3D tour where they give you 3D glasses, which I'm like, well, they're standing in front of us. Isn't that 3D enough? But
Yeah, right.
but they had a big screen.
Is Psycho Circus the one where it kind of sounds a little bit, for lack of a better term, kind of Soundgarden-ish, like Drop D?
No.
No.
That's Carnival of Souls.
That's right.
I just bought that on vinyl. By
With the worst album cover ever.
I bought it on vinyl and I love it.
The CGI.
I don't care.
It's just that.
You can judge me.
Oh, okay.
But and then the next time was it the 35 Alive tour when they did what we thought was going to be the last shows at Cobo Arena, I guess. And in my research, I guess Fish was the last band to play there. But yeah, I wore this. I had Kiss pajama bottoms on. So I was just like, hey, this works out tenfold because as soon as we get home, I could just go to bed. You know?
Or to Walmart. What do you got? Pajamas on? Go to Walmart.
Yeah. So now that I've modeled this, I could take this fucking thing off. It's hot as hell. It's hotter than hell.
I think
Giving up OnlyFans content right here.
I think Vance went to the same concert that I did.
Okay, yeah, let's check out some of the comments real quick. Alex has showed up, Marsha showed up, Mickey, Zep Pro, which is Vance. Let's see the only other time I seen them was the 1996 reunion tour. That's the Kiss I wanted to see. They played only 70 songs, and Ace and Peter and I were, let's see, what was good with that? Okay. Yeah, that reunion tour.
Hey, Vance, is that the one at Allstate? I'm assuming it is.
Hobo.
He probably
Or
saw
no.
the same one I did.
For us, it was
Tiger Stadium.
Sponge
With Sponge opening.
I think it
Yeah.
was. It wasn't Alice in Chains, or
No,
No, it's just Sponge.
Yeah, yeah, that Alice in Chains and Spun.
I don't remember a lot.
I didn't. I missed Sponge, but I caught him like a couple days later because their Wax Ecstatic album was coming out, and
Right around that time, right?
yeah, well, that we were at Harmony House. They performed for the midnight sale, and that was nuts. But
The one on Woodward.
no, they wouldn't allow that there. No, this is out in Farmington Hills.
Oh, okay. And then,
But all right, yeah. So they Allstate.
Yep.
Okay, cool. But yeah, that reunion show. The coolest part was, I mean, it must have been about an hour after Alice in Chains left the stage. They wanted to wait till it got dark, and then the lights go out, and then you hear the two helicopters coming up over Tiger Stadium with the searchlights going on, and in Kiss's intro, they just got that one drone going on. And, I mean, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it now. Just the energy in the air was just insane. And then, you get the guy, all right, Detroit. And everyone is losing their minds. Because, for a lot of us, that, we didn't get a chance to see that lineup. So for us, especially, the four of us there,
well, that lineup was gone by what, 1980?
Yeah.
In 8, 9, 10, Steve a little younger. There was no way unless we had the coolest freaking parents on earth.
Right.
No.
So, yeah, it was great to see, our original heroes at that time and on that platform, because it seemed like, beyond Tiger Stadium, after that, they were just doing arenas, but they knew that first show was going to be something major. So yeah, they needed the big venue. And I know that there was all kinds of people flying in all over the world just to go to that show.
Sure. And they had to be at that one.
Yeah. And, and luckily for us, it was in our backyard. So.
Well, and does anybody else not wonder this? I get it. So the thing we're going to watch tonight is at Madison Square Garden. I get it, New York band or whatever. How come I'm not disappointed, but why isn't Detroit the last show?
I know, you think it might have
been. In a way, because we're always the city that embraced first, right?
Right.
And whatever, I just thought it was kind of fitting. Maybe they just want to drive home.
Although, don't they all live in LA now? Anyway?
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, whatever. At least you don't have to drive home now. After this thing. Well, Jeff does.
Yeah, out here in the woods.
Yeah. So I never bought any. After Love Gun, I did not buy any new Kiss album. I started buying the back catalog then, starting around probably somewhere in the early 2000s. So everything then, I'm buying, Lick It Up and Creatures of the Night. To me, all that stuff, those are like brand new releases to me, even though they're 20 some years old at this point. So
what did you think?
I know Creatures of the Night gets a lot of love. It's one of the ones that I have the toughest time getting into.
Really?
I would say my favorite album after those initial 6, it's Monster.
Wow.
Yeah.
My head just exploded.
Yeah, that's the first time I've ever heard anyone say that.
Let me just say, more power to you. You know what I mean? Because Ask this guy. Him and I argue about the Elder all the time, and like honestly, like Elder is top 5 for me. Like it's in the top 5, and he just shakes his head. See him shaking his head right now?
Yeah.
Like he doesn't understand it. So
I know that's
how
one
that
of the,
album hits you. I don't know. Like I can't explain it.
yeah, that's one of those albums. I know it's grown in stature over the years. I mean, I know there's no way you liked it when it first came out.
I did.
Did you really?
Yes, it was my second record.
And I know he's not lying about that. Absolutely.
I loved it.
But he's also insane.
Like I said, there's no accounting for taste.
Well, okay, so I did have a segment of defending a record. So,
Oh, sorry.
Greg, take the floor.
I'm being attacked.
You should have really emailed us the outline.
Well,
That's the cool thing about a band that's been around for a very long time and with different members, and when their career trajectory goes up and down. I don't mean up and down as the negative, but just up and down changing.
right.
Different people get on the train at different spots, and
Right.
your age is determinant of all these type of things. It's wonderful that you can just like certain eras, all the eras, or start here and figure out that you like the older even better, or whatever the combination is. That
Right.
to me is very cool. Kind of like, not that these are similar bands at all, but King Crimson's kind of like that. There's so many different eras and albums and different players in the band. Some people came on in the 80s. Some people found out about them on this last tour with the 3 drummers, or and then they go back and figure it all out. It's cool as
Right.
hell.
All right. I'm going to go on my Amazon archive to see when I started buying up these old CDs. Well, problem is, once I type in Kiss and I'm getting a bunch of my wife's fucking romance novels. So
With Gene Simmons on the cover. No, but
let's see. I ordered
Listen to that.
Dynasty in 2010. All right. I got Unmasked in 2010.
So,
Creatures of the Night in 2013. Lick It Up in 2014. Elder 2015. Crazy Nights 2014. Animalize 2014. Asylum 2014.
it's funny that the
Revenge
new
2014.
It's funny that Steve mentions that he like went back and got all that stuff, because I told you guys, like, I had a Live 2, and then my second record was The Elder, and then I don't know, like at some point I got a job, and then I went,
Hey, get a job.
at some point I got a job, and then I went to Harmony House. I'll never forget this, in Oakland Mall. And you could go in there and talk to some guy and tell him that you want to order Kiss records. Like I just thought, like if they didn't have it in the thing, like you just couldn't get it. You know what I mean? Like I was just naive. I was young, So I went in there and I'm like, I kind of want like all these other Kiss records. He's like, yeah, I can order them for you. And I'm like, what? You can order these? Like,
right.
so like I did what Steve did. I went in there and I got all the records that I didn't have. So like for me, I was too young for the self-titled, so I ordered the self-titled. I was too young for Hotter Than Hell. I ordered that, and then Dress to Kill, and you name it, like Alive, all of those. So I've got like whatever pressings I have back there. Those are the probably like the 6th or 7th pressing of those records, because that's when I got a job.
Right.
Which is really weird because I loved them, but like I only had a Live 2 and The Elder, which is why The Elder rules.
Well, to kind of go back what Steve Green was saying about, with the band's history going in different waves and entering. I mean, that is a perfect example of like my story with Black Sabbath. I didn't even know about them until Mob Rules was around came out. So yeah, then you learn this whole back history. I even there you go. I knew of Ozzy as a solo artist. I had no idea he was in Black Sabbath. So
well, that only makes sense because you're born in 1970, right?
Yeah.
So 1980 81 Mob Rules comes out.
Right.
So yeah, you're 11 years old. You probably wouldn't have known of, unless you had an older brother or.
Well, but I had heard, it is post 1980, but I heard Iron Man and Paranoid, but the DJs never said Black Sabbath, but I recognized Ozzy's voice, so I thought it was just an Ozzy track. So, But so let's see. Go back into defending albums. Jeff, you got an album that you would defend that people are kind of maligned with?
You mean with Kiss?
Yeah.
He likes all the hits. He's got nothing to defend.
No, I don't. Why defend anything? I mean, I guess I would go into the Animalize and Asylum
Okay.
album.
Great.
I think they are great. Is there some stuff on there that you can shake your head at? Of course there is. But no, there is. But I really think those two. I like those two better than I like Creatures of the Night or Lick It Up or anything that came after that. I would defend those two.
Right on. The one I was gonna defend, and a lot of people just didn't like, was Psycho Circus.
I actually kind of like Psycho Circus now.
There's nothing wrong with that record.
I a lot of people argue with it because it's like, well, Ace and Peter are barely on it.
Well, they were barely on some of the records in the 70s.
Right. So yeah, what's the difference? But I think the songs on there, I think with the exception of
this record is probably in the 70s and Peter was.
the only songs I don't care for on here is I Pledge Allegiance to the State of Rock and Roll, which is too long of a fucking title.
That must have been a Gene Simmons song.
No, that's a Paul song. And then let's see, the I Found My Way, which is Peter's like updated Beth song. And but beyond that, I think every song on here is fantastic. I still just go back to this a whole lot.
You can't go wrong.
Right.
Trevor, the real question is, do you have it on vinyl?
No, and I missed the boat on when they had the vinyl with the lenticular cover too. So I could get the one with just the curtains.
Yeah, it's one of the ones that I don't have on vinyl either.
And
not available anymore. It was a limited run.
The lenticular cover, yeah. You can get the regular curtains one.
The way it is now.
It was for me, man.
Okay, so it's safe to say all four of you hate Monster.
Yes.
We were talking, had a sidebar here.
I didn't even know about
I didn't even know it existed. But on your recommendation, maybe on my hour ride home from his house, I will check it out.
Yeah, same.
Hey, we'll call each other.
It can't be any worse than the other.
Thank you. You are so correct.
Steve, I feel attacked. We just met.
Hey, it's all about busting balls. But so now this is gonna be Greg's forte here. Memorabilia.
Oh yeah, I got some stuff.
Oh,
why don't you start? Somebody else stuff.
We'll save Greg's major show and tell. Jeff, did you bring anything?
Finale.
Dude, hand me that pile next to you. So I brought some things. I had to get something off my wall.
What happened to the one thing?
What one
that my daughter had on?
I don't know.
Where'd she go?
So the let's see, The Kid Meets the Phantom of the Park magazine from 1980.
Oh, I remember that.
I'll take that.
Let me see that.
I was going to show that.
Yeah. Oh, you want me to?
No, go ahead. No. I'm not showing it.
Oh, okay.
I was going to show it.
God, I don't know which way I'm going here.
The camera's right here.
The comics. Well, I know it's so.
I'll take this one though.
Right, there you go. Here, all yours. I'll save what I think is the coolest things for last. I don't know how many people have.
I got that.
I've seen
this on cassette.
Huh?
From like the old school catalog.
I don't even know.
This is really cool.
The best of the solo albums actually on vinyl.
I have it on cassette.
I didn't know they did a compilation of the solo.
Yeah, it's a German import.
German. Look at the.
And what I love is in the middle it says something German with Kiss. I really don't know.
I remember you posting that a long time ago, and I was joking, asking if it was on a flexi disc.
Yeah,
right.
The Germans don't like those S's. I don't know why.
This thing,
just the one that has a little bit of the blood.
The blood and the yeah.
That's cool.
So this is for the real record collecting nerds out there. It's a copy of the originals, but it's a white label promo.
Oh Jesus.
I have 2 of them. Yeah, so white label promos are exactly what they sound like. So these are the things sent out to either record stations or record stores, and white label means exactly what it says, white label.
Right.
Different than the others, and you can attest to this. I don't think this has ever been played.
Well, it looks spotless.
And it came with
enough of that.
every single
Still got the old tiger on it.
This is the
Never been
cards.
played. Never been played.
The cards, they're perfect together.
Those.
God damn it. The Kiss Army sticker. So, no, it's paper. So, I guess the 2 things from my youth, which was like kind of when Steve got out of Kiss and everything, was, like I said, I never saw him, but in 1978, I did join the Kiss Army.
How much tape is on there?
A lot.
He's got to keep that nice and tight.
If I let you open this, it's like Christmas, you know. So
it's got more tape on this thing, more than's needed. I can tell you that right now.
Really? Wait till you see it.
I have my Kiss Army thing. I was going to show that too.
Well, we should have talked.
Hey, Trevor, check your text. I sent you a text.
So when you join, you get the folder.
So you get this folder with everything, all the order forms, all the stuff. There's a poster in here that was never done. I think my name is on.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, my name's on the certificate for the Kiss Army.
Let me see that.
There you go. A bunch of 8x10 type stuff that came with it.
This is absolutely fantastic.
Cards.
Steve's like, how do I do
all
this
this other.
3?
So, and then there's
diploma.
The other thing that.
Congratulations, Jeff.
I remember ordering when I was a kid that had to be 78-ish. The tour, the program.
Right.
Oh man,
so,
yeah.
And that's in a frame right now. It's up on my wall in a room I have inherited in my house. So.
Inherited?
He's a killer for sure.
Oh, thank you. All right, that's about what I brought. And I do have a copy of Killers on LP.
Steve, what did you bring?
Too.
I don't have any Kiss paraphernalia. I don't.
Hey,
who invited this guy?
Colin, check your email. I sent you a link.
Who?
Kato, he's in the comments.
Oh, is he
yeah.
is he gonna join?
I hope he does.
I hope he does too.
Because he's got a story or two, I'm sure of it.
Absolutely.
Well, Colin was the guy who went to the Creatures of the Night tour with me.
That's right.
Yes. And didn't go to the reunion show because he wanted to go to Pine River and not see some rinky-dink Kiss show.
Nice, man.
Double
Is that a sticker?
No, it's just a.
Oh, okay. So you.
Yep.
So any of you guys
Pizza
with the discography.
Any of you guys have jumping off points with them where you just said, that's it, I'm done?
I kind of tuned out on Hot in the Shade, to be honest. Like I was the biggest Kiss fan, but like
Incredible.
when they got to like that 90s, like I don't know, man, something about the Sphinx like really turned me off. I was like, that is like the worst album cover I've ever seen. Like especially a Kiss record, like it was just so bad with the Sphinx with the sunglasses on. I was like, I just can't do it, man. Like I want to defend them, but I do not understand this decision.
But ironically,
it was the album cover alone that turned me off to that record. Like I have it on vinyl, by the way.
Right, and then ironically,
now,
yeah, but then I was saying, ironically, one of the songs happened to be played at your wedding.
I know. I'm telling you, like, but I was so turned off by it. Like the album cover was so bad.
The tour was great. I highly recommend watching that one at the Palace.
That was the era that really cemented Kiss in like my psyche, because I never really followed Kiss as a kid. I knew what they were and I probably heard a couple songs, but when I was in high school and my whole high school went to that show basically but me, and came back the next day with those t-shirts, I was like, oh, this is a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I think I jumped off around Unmasked. I mean, I have it. I got it when it came out, and even at that young age, I'm kind of like, what is this? I don't know. It
I
just,
love it. Torpedo Girl. Come on.
I mean,
Great.
I'll admit I do like Shandy. It's a great song, but just
I love that video.
I like it better now, I should say. But at the time, even as a kid, it just didn't do anything for me. And I think I was also kind of getting into, AC/DC at the time and just other things. So,
what year would that have been roughly?
But that was 80.
Okay.
Yeah, I probably jumped off twice. And once was there, and then, like I said, Look It Up never brought me really back into the fold.
Hey, Jeff,
but,
you need any more tape?
Yeah, I do. But I jumped again after Asylum, and I think that had to do with musical tastes changing.
Right.
Time, and I just never paid attention to anything after that, really.
Yeah, I mean, at that time, because late 80s, I know a lot of us were getting into, heavier, harder stuff. And, some of it was okay. I didn't mind some of the hits. I remember when Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits came out.
I have that on vinyl.
Man, don't get too sore flexing here. So,
see, but that's the thing too. Is what you're saying is exactly right, because let's see, by '85, bands like Metallica had entered my life.
Right.
And my gateway from Metallica into what became like crossover stuff.
Right.
In 85, 86, Corrosion of Conformity, DRI, all that stuff. Then all of a sudden I had a punk rock heart.
Right.
And it just a lot of the old hard rock bands, nothing wrong with it. It just didn't resonate as it once did. You know?
Well, yeah, and in that genre, it was the kind of like the anti-look, where everyone was just like jeans and t-shirts. So I couldn't relate to, guys wearing sparkly shit on stage and prancing around.
And after a while, they learned they couldn't do that anymore either.
Right. Well, yeah. Then Revenge comes around. That all in black. Kind of look tough. And even that album is kind of misrepresented because, like, the first single being Unholy, you're thinking, "Oh man, this is gonna be a heavy record," and then you listen to the rest of it, it's just like,
is the rest of it not in that same vein? Because I would assume
Steve's like, why'd you invite Greg? Because he just likes all their worst records.
This guy's got horrible taste, man.
Yeah, well, here, cheers. I defend their entire catalog. What movie was it?
I celebrate them.
I celebrate their entire catalog.
Which is fine. I've grown up to learn that it's like, people like what they like. I can't, dismiss what people like anymore.
I mean, now, where do you guys stand on? I've never even heard them, the 4 solo albums.
Love them.
Nope.
All 4.
I think people praise Ace by default.
I love how Trevor laughs. He thinks I don't like Peter Chris's solo album, but I do.
Yeah, I think people praise Ace's album by default, but that's just like picking the least worst turd.
That's just
nitpicking.
It's just nitpicking, isn't it? Hold on. So I will say something about the solo records. That Gene Simmons solo record had the potential to be the best ever with that intro. Have you ever heard the intro to that record?
Oh, absolutely.
Going into Radioactive.
Yeah.
It's like an evil laboratory or something, it sounds like. And it sounds like The Exorcist, and like there's people chanting, and it's real evil. And you're like, this sounds just like Gene Simmons looks. And then I go, you're my fool. You're my fool. And it's like disco. And I'm like,
rushed on the record.
I'm like, what happened? Like, that was the best intro of all time. And
I did see Gene solo, like 5-6 years ago, whenever he was doing that box. Okay, so I went to see him solo on that because I was given free tickets, and it's at a venue about 20 minutes from my house.
Oh, okay.
So I went
What
to
did
that.
what did you think?
I left before the show was over.
All right, so
I
Steve's
guess that says it all. Huh?
all right, so Steve's review is totally different than what I told Jeff.
Yeah, he thought it was one of the most fun things he's ever been to.
Dude,
Gene
the
seemed
fact
loose.
the fact that Gene Simmons was like loose and he let people come up on stage with him, like
There were a ton of people on stage. Yeah.
he was doing like deep cuts, like off of like stuff that you would never hear him sing with Kiss because they didn't allow it. So like for me, being like the guy that I am, that they can do no wrong, basically. For me, it was like, oh, he's playing all this great stuff that I never heard Kiss do. So it was like, oh, that was the best show. That was the best Kiss show I've been to.
Right.
You said the Gene Simmons album could have been great, so it's not. So which is the best of their solos? Is it Ace? I mean, you always hear Ace.
I think Ace is the best, but I like them all.
See, I'm a big fan of the Paul album.
I like the Paul record.
I don't think there's a bad song on there, honestly.
Oh yeah.
What's the song?
Yeah, our friends in Bastardus just covered. I'm trying to think of the name of it.
Off the Paul record. I can't remember.
List them off. I'll tell you which one. Because it's written up on the dry erase board at our practice space.
Right.
So which instruments you guys play?
What's that?
Which instruments do you guys play?
Well, I play drums. He plays bass, and Steve plays bass and synths.
Here, let me look at the list on the back
Look
here.
at him flexing. Look at him flexing.
Let me just hold that. I'm just looking at songs.
We got Tonight You Belong to Me, Move On, Ain't Quite Right,
Move on.
You Like to Know Me,
No, it's
Take
not
Me
the
Away, It's All Right, Hold Me, Touch Me, which I think is like a yacht rock.
Yeah. Keep going.
I thought it was Move
Love
On.
and Chains, Goodbye.
Go back to the beginning.
He got flex too.
Tonight You Belong to Me,
What?
Move On, Ain't Quite Right.
I don't think it's on the Paul record then.
No, it was because they actually put it on the stage. Which record?
Oh, I don't know if you can see it, Trevor.
I see he had
Greg Ace Frehley.
he's got Jeff Glicksman as producer.
Oh,
It's a flex fest.
ooh.
Hey,
He's gonna Hulk their shirt off.
hey, Trevor, what do you have there? A compact disc?
That's what I was listening to at the time.
I had my beer on one of those here.
This is a vinyl record. I thought that's what we talked about on this show.
Oh, Greg. Greg is digging
I
in.
have it too, but it's like a misprint. It's like this weird
Yeah, put it
misprint.
away, Trevor. That doesn't even look right. Why does he look red?
That might be more
That's the thing. I got a misprint one.
Oh, you think that's rare or something?
I think it is.
Greg will be on eBay tonight looking.
Yeah, I'll find that. I'll get a copy of
I'm
that.
actually put a make ready in the line for jackets.
Sorry, Trevor. I don't mean to get mean. Jeff
Well, I
encouraged
knew
me.
that.
Like he brings it out of me.
The only thing, it's not so much memorabilia, but it was actually a show that Greg and I were at Kobo, the Alive 35. I got the CD that they were putting out.
I didn't get that.
You didn't get that?
I know. Just
I didn't get that.
Same era, maybe?
Maybe.
I was probably hammered. Did we take a bus to that?
No, that was the Pine Knob show.
Oh, the Pine Knob one. That one got off the chains like that.
Okay, yeah, there's
That's off
another
rail.
story. I probably wouldn't have gone if it wasn't for the fact that we were getting the party bus, because I think none of us remember that show
I
itself.
think the party bus was the worst idea. That was the worst part of it.
That party bus did me no favors.
No, it didn't do anybody any favors.
On a hill, on a grass hill. Well, let's just take the party bus for an hour and a half before the show.
Yeah, well, so Steve, now we went to this place called Pine Knob. It's the big amphitheater outside of Detroit. It's the pavilion with the roof and the hill. Everyone has those in there.
Everybody's got one.
Yeah. So we decided to let's do a party bus. And I mean, how many people were on that? Did we have like 20?
25.
This one out of piss, Jeff.
Oh God. And like by the time we made it up there, we were all
from the bus.
Okay.
Remember the bus driver gave us these pictures?
Yeah, because he saw Kiss on this tour and took these pictures.
Wait, there's a.
No, I don't remember that at all.
You had one rule: don't throw up on the party bus.
Yeah.
I don't think we abided by that.
I just remember being behind a really nice hotel.
Yeah, I remember. I was trying to videotape our adventures up there, and I gave Aaron the camera, and I went off to relieve, and I think I came back about 5 minutes later. That's how full it was. So.
Wait, is that
I
Colin?
hope you had a hell of a.
I heard a tone.
Yeah.
Somebody trying to join? Did I miss something?
I haven't seen Colin. I gave him the link.
Oh, okay. All right. Hey,
Why don't you text him and see if he text him to check his email?
Let's move it along,
It's a
Trevor.
nice plastic bag.
Oh man, Greg, you're coming big guns.
You need
man.
some tape with it.
All right, let's see it. Bring it.
More tape.
All right, let me go least important. Check this.
Is that a puzzle or a
Oh, the
game?
on tour game. I had that.
The Kiss
Yeah.
on Tour game.
Man, is
Yes,
that-
I had that.
Possibly the worst game ever created. Doesn't even
Okay.
have Detroit on it.
Hold on a second.
It has all the cities, but not Detroit.
Okay,
Somebody read this. I'm writing them.
Colin, I put it in your Gmail. Check that.
I need to speak to a manager, please.
Yeah, look. It comes in like two pieces.
I remember that. I had
And you
that.
put it together,
Oh,
and what's on here? Toronto, for Christ's sake.
we have one. We have one of these at the store. It says missing a game piece.
Mm.
Oh. Now the bell.
Oh dear Lord.
So yeah,
Can we play this tonight?
That's why I got it up.
We have
I see now. I had that game and I brought it over to a friend's house and I accidentally left it there. And his mom decided to clean out the basement and donate everything to Purple Heart.
What?
Yeah, so it's got like Toronto, New York. It's got a bunch of cities, but no Detroit.
You ever see the LP for Triumph? Just a game.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's a gatefold. It opens up and it's a board game. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so that's my first thing. Here's my second, which this shouldn't surprise anybody.
That is awesome.
I've got all four of these guys.
I'm just surprised they closed on.
Do you take those to bed with you?
No, these haven't been out of the
Oh my
storage.
God.
I did this special for Trevor.
Oh, okay.
Let him
These
shine.
have been in my vault. And then, you know what I noticed, Trevor, when I took these out? Paul is real squirrely. I feel like Paul is broken. So I don't know what I was doing with Paul.
Remember, he had to have a hip replacement.
But look at his chest. It's very bare.
No hair. Yeah, no hair.
That is not screen accurate.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
No.
Paul's hair, he's got.
Surprised you didn't draw that on there.
I should have. But anyways, I've got all four Kiss dolls. What else do I got? All right, this. You know this?
Yeah, this is cool.
But hang on. So a lot of people can get Kisstory, right? They can buy the book. Well,
Right.
at one point you could,
He's
but
flexing again. Man.
Oh, nice.
4.
it's all four original.
Did it come like that or did you get them?
Yeah, it came like that.
Okay.
All right, so that's my other one. Hold on, I got more. Remember Jeff's Kiss Originals?
Yeah. Oh yeah. This one I knew you were gonna bring out.
You want to trade?
Kiss Originals 2.
It's got the Japanese Obi strip on it.
That's awesome.
It's
Mhm.
not, I don't know what white labels are, but it's pretty cool. It comes with a couple,
So it was the next 3 records, right?
Right.
Or,
yeah, I don't think it came out in the States.
no.
Came with a
No,
couple inserts, which I have. It came with masks too. This version does not have the masks. Jeff's like, whatever, trade it in.
So
Came with this, which is cool.
That's awesome.
That's right. Anthony went last night. He saw him in New York last night.
yeah, Anthony in the comments. Yeah, he went to Madison Square Garden last night. My cousin Mike is actually there tonight.
Like,
Wow.
That's awesome.
I'm sure you guys saw the video of Empire State Building lighting up, right?
I did see that.
I didn't catch that yet. I saw photos of it, but I haven't.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
didn't they like project like the
I never
original
saw
Empire State Building photo shoot onto the Empire State Building?
Well, I didn't see. I mean, I watched it. I don't remember seeing Peter and Ace on it.
So who really believes this is the last show ever?
So Anthony was there last night. He said people in face paint everywhere all over New York.
He sent me a photo when he was at the booth. And from what I saw, I think everything was priced from $50 to $600. I think was the highest I saw for apparel. How much you spend on apparel, Anthony?
Yeah.
Yobi's awesome.
Yeah, I think he's with the family tonight. I think they were doing Rockettes today or something.
Yeah, I know. He took his son to the concert.
But it's essentially the same.
But I mean, yeah, if you're gonna go to New York City, you might as well like take it all in and make it a whole weekend event.
Yeah, go ice skating the whole 9 yards.
You're supposed to have masks in there.
That's the only thing that doesn't have. I've already so the guy that I got that from, and so I got that record. Well, Ange got it for me from this record store on the way back from Kings Island, and he deals in all Japanese pressings, pretty much. And
I don't have many.
What was the name of the store? Do you remember?
it's on my Instagram. I don't remember anything. I don't remember that. So, anyways, he said that I sent him a message, and I'm like, if you ever get the masks, all I need is the mask.
Right.
Like, if you ever get one that's like incomplete and you just have the masks, like, let me know.
Awesome.
See you later, Mickey.
They didn't Kiss do one where it came in like a flight case, like a road case, like a set of
Yeah, I
stuff?
have that. It's downstairs.
No.
Of course they did.
Wait, the road case? You mean? Well, I got a guitar case one.
Oh, God, I forgot about that
Look
thing.
at that.
I
Yeah.
have that.
So what's in there?
Now Trevor's flexing.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't show it, you don't really own it.
I do have the single for Dirty Living and Sure Know Something behind you.
Well, this was on the back. All the songs
Right.
listed,
Dirty Living's not a good song.
and then it made it look like it was a personally written letter.
Right, yeah. I'm sure that was.
Hey, that's just to you, Trevor.
That's to you, Trevor.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Hardcover booklet.
I have.
I forgot. about
Shockingly, this is the thing that really surprised me. They actually had a merchandise catalog.
Oh, yeah. They have that in every one of their pieces, a catalog. Better believe it.
And then it's in case with the 5 CDs.
I forgot about that thing. Yeah.
Wow.
A life-size Gene almost.
I like how his eyes are yellow or
Can you hit a
whatever.
button here?
Yeah, with the batteries.
The button's a little lower.
Oh,
Yeah. A little lower.
Oh shoot!
That's tight.
All right, assuming you have no budget, are any of you buying a Kiss casket?
No.
I might. I mean, who cares? You're dead.
I'm assuming my wife will
Like,
spend
if
the
you're-
least
if
she
you're-
needs to on me dying.
You're saying money's no object?
Right, yeah.
If there's no object, sure. Why
Money's
not?
no object. You're getting a
Why not
Kiss
support
casket?
the kids?
Right. His kid's band is on this tour. The opening band is his son's
His
band.
or Paul's?
Paul kid, yeah.
Sorry. I'm spreading misinformation.
I do wonder, I've asked this question, why haven't Evan Stanley and
Nick Simmons?
Nick Simmons locked themselves in a room and start learning Kiss songs?
Well,
Do they not want to
They
be
probably
rich for the
will
rest of
do
their
that.
lives?
once their parents are done, I bet you they'll take it over. Why not?
You know,
Look
it's
at that.
funny. That's they had mentioned that one time about the band like living forever. Talked about like getting other players or something.
Right.
It makes me wonder if that's kind of still in the cards.
I would bet my life on it that
Yeah,
that will
Gene's
happen.
ego seems like whenever he's gone from this mortal coil, it seems like he will want people to know who he is, not just from the legacy, but to continue it on. And I'm sure Paul's is there too. I mean, and I wouldn't mind it. I mean,
But I think
what other band could do that? I don't think anybody.
Tangerine Dream already did it.
That's true.
But Nick Simmons, I believe, is a musician.
I think you.
Yeah, he had
Enough to play
a band at one point.
Evan Stanley is obviously probably even a better guitar player than his dad.
Right.
And so why are those two guys not like,
Maybe they are.
Hey, do you not want to be rich for the rest of your life? Because I certainly like being rich.
Well, they probably already are going to be rich for the rest of their life, but they could still do the Kiss Part 2 for sure.
So Steve, you believe this is going to happen? Like,
I would think it would. It may not be 5 or 10 years, but it would not shock me for it to happen.
Right.
I'm right there with you.
I'm there too.
I see what you did there, Steve. It shocked me.
Hey,
Steve was
he's
on
clever.
this,
He's
by the way.
clever.
I'm with you, Steve. I see what you're doing over there.
So what you're saying is just that Kiss will become a sanctioned tribute band.
Yeah, maybe with
I
your
mean,
kids.
Yeah, sanctioned is the word though.
Mm-hmm.
Like here's the thing about tribute bands. They're all wonderful, but can they pull it off? And does any other band have the audience that would go with it?
Right.
I don't think it works with any other band.
They could keep
right.
There's a Genesis tribute band called the Musical Box, and they do nothing but Peter Gabriel era Genesis. Now they'll play in the States. They'll play a venue that holds maybe 1,000 tops, but they pull off the music perfectly. In fact, they are fully endorsed by all the members of Genesis. In fact, Peter Gabriel even gave him all of his outfits he used to wear on stage.
Cool.
The lead singer. Peter Gabriel took his kids to see them live because he's like, I want you guys to see what I actually did. And they're from Canada. I don't know what size venues they play in Canada. I would imagine it's a little bigger, but when they play here in Chicago area, it's normally a venue for 1,000 people.
Could you imagine being like taking your kid to a show going, okay, I know you're here with me and I've showed you what I did, but here's what I did. Like,
Right.
What kind of feeling could that even be?
For sure.
That's awesome.
I don't know.
Yep, Vance might be right. Oh, I don't know if you need top grade musicians.
No, you need to buy into whatever it is.
Yeah.
Well, you need to buy in like Tommy and Eric. They bought into everything. And if you need 2 more people like that, it might probably wouldn't be too hard.
I think at first it could be those two to transition it in because they're still younger, and then they could rock for 10 years or so with them, and then by then the 2 kids are well established. Then you get a new drummer and second guitar player in there that are younger, and you just keep on rolling.
This is what we need Colin here for, or it becomes like a stay in Vegas.
Oh yeah, like Blue Man Group thing.
That kind of thing.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing with the look, and I think that's what kind of worked with Foreigner for the longest time, because Foreigner were kind of a faceless band, really. I mean, you couldn't point, other than Lou Gramm and maybe Mick Jones, you couldn't identify anyone else in the band of oh, well, that's not an original member.
Right. True. That is true.
So, I mean, those guys are famous for if Mick doesn't show up to a show, there's literally not a single original member in that band.
Right.
But they still tour and it's lucrative.
The sad thing is the longer we go on in years, that's what happens to a lot of these bands.
Right.
I mean, I guess I wish there was a full-fledged Ramones, 100% in type thing, or Motorhead, or any of those members that have passed that they're extinct. We won't be able to get to see it anymore.
Right. But yeah, I mean, exactly, like a Motorhead, that'd be real tough to pull off.
No, you couldn't. That's why kind of Kiss is the perfect thing. It's
right.
It's pyrotechniques.
Yeah, some
Right.
of
Now,
those are too particular.
So much of the concert is about the show.
Hey, Colin is finally showing up right on. We got it.
There we go.
Colin.
What's up, fellas?
What's up?
For some reason, and I probably did this, but Trevor was in my spam folder, which was probably something I did a long time ago.
I'm sure you had your reasons.
Nothing personal. No,
Are you on a bathroom break from lunch? Or are you on a bathroom break from work real quick?
This guy.
So,
oh no, I'm off
Colin,
work.
obviously, you know the knuckleheads in the bottom there.
Yeah, I was watching for a while.
And then up top,
What I got there, like an elf shirt or
we're
something?
collecting stragglers here.
Look at Stoney just hanging out in the background like a weirdo.
oh my God, everyone's showing up. Wait,
Hey, Stoney and Kyle have the same beard.
I got it at the right time though. While you guys were showing all that stuff, I don't need to get in on that conversation. I don't have anything.
but well, actually, you know, it comes up. We were talking about
One more
you
thing.
know,
Greg got one more thing.
like a Vegas type show.
Don't
You know,
get out.
not so much residency of the band, but you know, moving on with different members. I mean, does that seem like a plausible thing?
I don't know. I still have my doubts about whether or not they're wrapping it up tonight because the amount of money flowing through Vegas right now is so insane. People are paying top dollar for all kinds of stuff, and I got to know that that's appealing to Gene.
Right.
So, I wouldn't put it out of the question
Recognize
for them to do like kind of a like a small residency like they had set up before, where it was just kind of a 8-9 night thing. I wouldn't put it past them because, like I said, the amount of money.
They said it's the last tour. It didn't say it's their last concert.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they'll find some way to squeeze more bucks out of you. I mean, it's
If Vegas hired David Lee Roth, they would hire Kiss.
yeah.
Man, we got like 15 minutes.
It's like New Year's.
Countdown. Yeah.
Kyle, you see this bottle?
Oh, you guys are streaming the
I
concert
do.
tonight?
I do. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've had this in the fridge all day. You know why?
Because you're gonna break it out tonight for cold gin.
Cold gin.
What are they
Not
charging
gonna
for that?
freeze.
That checks out.
I couldn't tell you. Colin sent it to me. I would have never bought this on my own.
No. The streaming concert. What are they charging for the concert?
Oh, the pay-per-view? That's $40.
Oh, that's not bad, really.
No.
I agree. It's not
Yeah.
bad.
When do I get to my opinion on Kiss?
Yeah, Mike's got an opinion on Kiss he'd like to share with the group.
Okay, bring it, Mike. Here.
Even though his favorite band went to see him, like his favorite band is Tool, and they went to see Kiss on the.
Hey, I've seen Tool. I mean, I've seen Kiss.
I thought Pink Floyd was your favorite band. Anyways.
Oh, he doesn't like Kiss, but yet he still shows up. That's cool.
But we're talking
Yeah.
about the party bus
He's at the party.
earlier, and yeah, that's when you didn't really see him, or you at least don't remember it.
No, I barely
I
remember
remember the bus.
that show.
I sort of remember the bus.
Vance said it's 50. I'll bet you that's got to be Chicago slapping on some kind of entertainment tax on them.
Probably.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, it's not the same
Too
everywhere.
bright.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I will bet that is the reason, Vance.
Oh,
Because
that
that city loves to tax you for any and everything.
I'll probably roll.
Oh,
But
you guys
it's cheaper than an actual ticket.
Oh yeah. He had which was that a Psycho Circus robe with the animal prints?
There you go.
Collar?
Yes.
That was tight. You should put that back on in honor of tonight, man. Unless you're too hot.
should have worn no shirt.
I was getting hotter than hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vance confirmed it. It's some kind of tax.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, in Chicago they're charging $50 for the pay-per-view.
Wow. How much is it?
Yep.
Yeah, it's 40 here. I'm sure there's taxes. Greg will just eat that, you know.
Yeah. every company will try to squeeze you for that next dime.
Right.
Yeah, it was $40, but after fees, yeah.
Gotcha.
Cool.
It's gonna be good. We're gonna play a lot of songs. We know that.
Does anybody think Peter and Ace will make an appearance?
I think they will.
For this one, they might come out for the encore, or at least the ending, bowing to the, after.
My heart wants to say yes, this will happen, but the way Paul and Gene have talked about everything,
right,
and whatever, I just don't see them letting them on. Yeah, I hope I'm wrong.
Well, and Ace hasn't really helped the cause too much either.
No.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I've seen the comments. Yeah.
Didn't Ace release a new song today?
Last week, yeah, like 10,000 volts or something like that.
Yeah, or last week. Okay. Yeah. Not very
Didn't
good.
he also ask for $500,000 to make the appearance at the show?
Yeah.
Did he really? Oh my god.
You see, and that's what everything turns into, right?
Right. Yeah.
They mix the money with the ego, and then it all falls apart. So.
But I mean, here's the difference, though. Kiss, they're playing Madison Square Gardens, and where's Ace playing?
The Broken Lounge here.
So
Ted's Baked Potato Bar.
And I think it was half filled too. So.
Nice.
Let's see. What's this?
We got about 14 minutes. 10 minutes.
All right. Thanks, Vance, for coming out. Appreciate it.
Thanks for doing this, Triggs. Steve, nice meeting you.
Hey,
Colin,
Rock, man.
Colin, you want to add anything about that Creatures of the Night tour we went to with my dad? Anything you remember that I didn't share already?
Probably the first time in my life I smelled weed.
So that coincides with my story.
Yeah, I remember. I'll never forget, because we were. I mean, it was just weird for us to even see Kiss. I mean, we're just, it was like pictures and 16 magazine and all that stuff at the grocery store. But I don't know. I'll never forget walking in and seeing that tank stage and just thinking this is real. And then as soon as they hit the stage, I mean, as a kid, it was here we are seeing our heroes, man, still in makeup, and just, I mean, it was unreal. I mean, I kind of get a little, chills just kind of thinking about it, but just walking in and seeing that, and then of course we halfway through the show, you and I were probably high and we didn't even know it. But, not only are we high, we get the Wendy O. Williams treatment for the first.
Yeah, I wish I saw that.
She's coming out bouncing around and with the chainsaw and shit. But man, yeah, I mean, just as soon as that you wanted the best, you got the best, and the Kiss sign lights up and the big tank stage and them guys running around, it was just I'll never forget that.
So now with that tour, I've always heard that was a very undersold tour. How was it there at Cobo? I mean, with it being Detroit, was it still pretty packed, or was it kind of?
I remember it being pretty packed. I mean, it probably didn't have quite the crowd that they may have drawn, but again, I mean, this is the first time seeing them.
Right.
But now you're talking, we've got Eric Carr and Vinnie Vincent. So there's a big lineup change there, and I don't know how personal Kiss fans back in the day really took that, but I don't know. I remember it being a big crowd, but again, this is one of the first shows I ever went to. So
yeah,
I was gonna
say as a kid, anything like that would have been big.
Was it your guys' first big concert?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I had been to some shows younger. Actually, the first big show I went to was the Bee Gees, the Pontiac Silverdome, and that was just taken to that by my mom. So that was the first kind of stadium show I went to. They had the Saturday Night Live Fever stage and all that stuff, but but I was so young, I didn't really appreciate what I was seeing there.
Right.
So it was just
Right.
kind of, I mean, when I was a kid, my mom took me to the Bee Gees, Stevie Wonder, Elton John, the Doobie Brothers 3 times. So those are all big shows, but again, I'm a kid just because my mom didn't want to get a babysitter.
You were high a lot as a kid.
So, but that, I mean, the Kiss show was like the first like real like big production concert outside of the Bee Gees, like I said, that I can recall, and actually something that I wanted to go to. I wasn't being dragged to it. And here now, here I am today. I love Elton John. I love the Bee Gees. I love Stevie Wonder. But at the time, I felt I was getting dragged to these shows. I want to stay and play Atari or something, whatever the heck I had going on. So, but seeing Kiss was that was a completely different ballgame because
I was gonna say it's a totally different show. You know what I mean? They're like
and like I knew the music, and Kiss were like our heroes. I mean, they seemed like they were unreal characters when, like, how do we know these guys are even real? I mean, these albums are all colorful. They got all this stuff, the music, the whole, and then I remember playing Alive and Alive 2 for the first time and just hearing the explosions and trying to think of what that visually looked like. I mean, really, there was nothing like opening that gatefold to Alive 2 and seeing that photo. Like,
Right. And
great
this is
gatefold photo of all time. I mean,
and this is long before, we had, VHS, DVDs, YouTube to see this stuff in action.
yeah.
We had still pictures.
Yeah.
It's funny. I don't know if anybody else did this, but like that gatefold of Alive 2, I studied like it was a test. And when I listened to the record, I always had shit going off in my brain. Like Peter Criss was always going up and down, like with the cat, right? And the platforms were always going up and down. No, that wasn't real. He went up at the end and they came down once. But I always played it up more in my head that everything was always on fire. Oh my God.
Right.
Yeah. No, and here, like when I was a kid, I thought Paul was like a superhuman guy sticking his arm in the fire, and like it doesn't even affect. Like,
is real. He floated from the top.
Details that I remember about that photo.
Right.
Yeah.
So when did this thing start?
Now.
Okay. Well,
3 minutes.
It's like 3 minutes.
Tell you what, why don't we wrap this up? Thank you guys for coming out for this. It was a awesome time.
I'm hanging,
talk
man.
about one of our all-time favorite bands from way back, and it was a good time.
Next final show.
Yeah.
We'll do this the next time they have their final show.
It's the final show tonight, but when they come to Vegas, you guys all have a place to stay.
Right.
I see.
Yeah. I'm coming.
I'm gonna cut
Thanks,
this off. I'm gonna cut the live because I
You
got
let your dog in the room?
so Steve, Colin, if you want to stay on, and we'll chit chat. So thanks everyone in the chat for hanging out with us, and enjoy some Kiss. So good night, everyone.